Today, our topic is breaking free from gender expectations. Now, what does that mean? I can tell you, as a young girl, young child, I was gifted in mathematics. I had a vision that attuned to mathematics in a way that I recognized it as a language that could map out the structure of the universe. And I was very interested in a child as in the planets, in the stars, in the what I now know is called astrology. I would sit on the floor with encyclopedias and looking at the planets and looking at everything, and it's something that I felt in my body. And yet I was told, girls aren't good at math. Girls aren't supposed to do that. Girls, and I, all the way through college, I was told girls aren't good at that, right? Then I got into my high-tech job, and I heard, had a second-line manager that was from hell, but he would call me into his office almost weekly and tell me women don't make it here, and women aren't meant to do this, and women, had a woman here once with broken nail, blah, 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 blah. But, at least I had more opportunity than my mother did. I think my mother had the same kinds of gifts, and she was told, she was offered a full scholarship to college, and her parents wouldn't let her go because, as they said, that's where girls go to get pregnant. And so they wouldn't let her go. So what'd she do? She stayed home. She married my father. She had her first child at 19, and had 6 children. She was, I believe, I was the last of the 6. So I think she was pretty tired by the time I came along. But what I saw of her is a woman who was extremely insightful and intelligent and just didn't have an outlet for it. And she was very depressed, unfulfilled, and just didn't want to be on this planet anymore. And, I see now, like, I had it better than she did, even though it was like battle at every stage along the way. And it's left an imprint on me. I see young girls now who are, all children are encouraged in the STEM or the STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And they're encouraged to find their gifts and to explore them and to develop them regardless of gender. I think we're getting so much better. And as I'm witnessing what's happening in the world right now and seeing the forces that are wanting to take us backwards, that are wanting women to have certain roles, men to have certain roles, and basically taking away a lot of things that are giving us a voice, giving us a say-so over our own bodies and our own futures. It just devastates me inside, I'm finding, and I really don't want to see it go back to the way it was when my mother was young. My mother would be 101 years old right now. My father is still with us, 102. It devastates me. I don't want to see us go back. And so I want to, we don't want to live in the past, but we don't want to forget our history either, because we want to learn from it and move forward, not repeat it. And as long as we don't learn from it, we will repeat it. And there are people wanting to take us back because they like the level of control that they could have at that time. They don't want to lose it, whatever the motives are. Honestly, I believe what has been extracted from the Bible and called the biblical prescription of what women and men are has been manipulated and used as a way to control. I don't think it is the truth. I know in my heart of hearts, it is not the truth of what women are created to be and what men are created to be, not either one. And it's not to be weaponized. It's for us to seek truth and to understand that God is expressed through every human being and through every animal and plant and all of nature in the highest light, in the most beautiful way, not to divide us and have one oppress the other, whether it is male to female, female to male, human to animal, human to earth, human to water, air, right? That's not what God created us to be and how God created us to be on this planet. So in today's meditation and healing circle, I want to take us through a process of exploring what is your innate, the whole masculine, feminine thing. There are, we have a feminine archetype, a masculine archetype, and they have distinctions, but you as a human being are a unique creature and a unique creation. There are many aspects to your personality and to who you are innately. Some of those will fall more along the feminine archetype. Some will fall more along the masculine archetype. And you as a human being, there's no such thing as 100% female, 100% male. So what we want to do today is let go of what the world has tried to paste onto us and to imprint into our psyche about what we can do and what we can't do, what we're supposed to be good at and not good at, what opportunities are available to us and what are not. We want to extract that and wash that from the psyche and bring you back to some of the innate things that you knew as a child, that you were good at, that you were called to, and just be in that that fluid ocean, the ocean of living consciousness, and see where you land along that spectrum between masculine and feminine. And let the aspects of yourself land where they will. And then we'll talk about how to move with that when we're in relationship. Okay, so let's go ahead and come into our circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. And as we sit in our circle, just imagine us in one big circle with our Mother Earth in the middle and her beautiful atmosphere that surrounds her and all of the inhabitants that live in this planet, right? As Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi, who is one of my favorite Sufi teachers, said, you're not on the earth, you are in the earth. You are an integral part of the earth ecosystem and cannot separate yourself out from the earth as long as your spirit is integrated into your physical form and you are here on this earth school, earth journey. You are in the earth, not separate from, you're not a separate being on the earth. So let's be with our Mother Earth. And let's just imagine this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle, blanketing the earth. And let this light, this pure divine light, fall upon you, upon your skin, and penetrate through your pores and into your body as this pure divine light moves through everything in creation. And bring all of your senses to face this light that pours into the center of our circle. This is pure divine light. It's everywhere, but it helps to have, because energy flows where attention goes, so it helps to bring your focus, bring your eyes to face toward the center right in front of you. Bring your ears, your nose, your mouth, your throat. Bring everything to face toward the center and to face into this pure divine light. Bring your heart center to face toward this light, right? All of your subtle energy centers, they're like eyes. They're like eyes. They're perceptors of energy, of vibration. They gather information. And they, just like your eyes take in information and your brain processes it, all of your subtle energy centers take in information and your core light body processes the information. Bring your belly space, your hara, to face toward the center. And bring your hips to face toward the center. And just be with that light. Feel that light if you can. Just landing on your skin, moving through your pores. The light moves like electricity through all things. moves like electricity, and as it enters your body, it moves through your nervous system, cleansing and purifying, just cleaning up those pathways of your nervous system, bringing them into their highest light, cleaning from them any of the places. Just imagine as that light moves through, it's like cleansing, purifying, and bringing your pathways into their optimal flow. As you inhale, take this next breath in. Imagine drawing all of this light into the center of your body, all the way into the very center, halfway front to back, halfway side to side. And just feel, if you can, or imagine that light that moves through the top of your head, through the crown of your head, and travels through your body, through your headspace. And this moves halfway front to back, halfway side to side, through the top of your head, through your headspace, through your throat space, through your heart space. And take a full breath. And as you exhale, just feel that move down through your solar plexus, through your diaphragm, into your belly space, your sacral center, and through your pelvic floor. And again, as you inhale, draw all of your consciousness, your energy into this vertical core, and let your conscious body just like hang out right in that center of light, that core light at the center of your body. Kind of like you're standing under a gentle waterfall, a waterfall of light. And let yourself resonate with that frequency of light as it moves through your body. And as that light moves through your body, just let yourself settle into it and rest. Rest at the center of your body. And again, together, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of unconditional love. Just imagine this unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle. Again, blanketing the earth, surrounding the earth with this gentle flow of unconditional love. And you can turn your heart center, that funnel at the front of your heart space, turn it to face right into the center, and you can let it tip up slightly and receive this flow of water, this gentle waterfall into that funnel. And use your breath. Make your heart space like a breathing portal. And as you inhale, draw that unconditional love in through that portal, through that funnel, all the way into the center of your heart. And as you exhale, just release any of the tension, the clutter, all of the guards that we put up, right? It's normal as we're going through life. On the day-to-day, we run into all kinds of things that don't feel so loving to the heart, don't resonate with the unconditional love, and we put up protectors, and that's okay. See if you can breathe that unconditional love in through that heart center, and with each inhale, take it in deeper, a little bit deeper in toward the center, right? These funnels of energy, our subtle energy centers, they funnel into the center of our bodies, and they pour right into that vertical core. So let that unconditional love pour all the way through your heart center into your vertical core. That pillar at the center is unconditional love, filled with unconditional love. Pure divine light and unconditional love. And if your heart center is having a hard time letting go of some of the blocks, you can give some thumping
thumping around your heart center and all the way up under your collarbones on each side, even up to the sides of your neck, from the bottom of your ear, from your earlobe down to your collarbone, just gently feathering with your fingertips down the sides, really letting that lymphatic drainage clear out, giving that support. And then again, tapping up under your collarbones and back into your heart center. And take a big inhale and gather up any of that clutter that got loosened up and just blow it out. And again, turn that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space to that unconditional love that is flowing, and breathe that in. Breathe it in all the way into your center. And as you exhale, release and let it go. And again, as you inhale, draw your energy into your vertical core. Let your conscious body hang out in that core of unconditional love and pure divine light. And one more, we call on the eternal compassion, this ocean of living consciousness that is the fluid of the womb that contains our entire existence. If you imagine our entire universe as one universal soul, one universal body, and we are cells within that body. And that body is contained in one womb, one universal womb. Throughout the womb is an ocean of living consciousness that we're all living in and subsisting in. And that ocean of living consciousness is pure compassion. It's like the ocean that we swim in. It is the water that we absorb into our bodies and that we drink and that moves through us and that nourishes and hydrates our cells. And just imagine yourself immersed in this ocean of living consciousness that is pure compassion. And let your entire being rest into this ocean of pure compassion. Again, as you inhale, draw all of your energy into your vertical core. As you exhale, drop down, land into your pelvic bowl, land into your hips, and let your whole body be held in this ocean of eternal compassion. And let your body be like a sponge and absorb this compassion into every cell, all the way into the center of your body, absorbing that pure compassion. And let your heart also be like a sponge, absorbing in that gentle water of unconditional love and the ocean of eternal compassion. The poet Rumi said, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop." Let your entire being be hydrated and satiated and saturated with this eternal compassion, the ocean of living consciousness that lives in you and through you, through your physical form. And let yourself, as you rest into the center of your body, I want to invite you to really bring your focus and your attention into the depths of your heart, wherever it may be. Take a breath, and as you exhale, just let it go a layer deeper into the center of your heart, like where the breath enters you, that breathes you, where the consciousness comes into that place of connection, that place that knows who you are, where you came from, and what you're created to be, what you're here to be. Right? You are a spirit integrated into a physical form, not separate from the breath of spirit, but you're here to reflect certain aspects of the jewel. What are those for you? Share another Muhammad Ibn Arabi teaching. as he said, we said this at the beginning, there's no such thing as 100% female or 100% male, right? God has no gender and yet contains all genders. The soul is gender fluid, right? Your soul may be here as a female one time, as a male another time, and it's gender fluid and this is from me, not from Ibn Arabi teachings, but actually, I think, in my opinion, some of his teachings allude to this. As we are evolving as a humanity, and there's more and more of humanity is awakening and carrying a higher frequency, higher light. We are moving into a place of unity, where there will be unity, there will be harmony, and we'll live closer to the soul. Like right now, majority of people, I think, still perceive themselves as physical bodies that have a spirit. As we are evolving into a unity consciousness, we will perceive ourselves more as a spirit being with a body, primarily spirit, secondarily body. And as we are living closer to the soul, there will be much less distinction between male and female. We will still have male and female bodies and still be able to reproduce, but much less distinction between what is female, what is male. And we'll have a lot more freedom to be who we are created to be and to love who we're created to love and to express how we want to express, regardless of the body that we're in. The body will not be as important. Other than, of course, we need to care for our bodies. We need to accept our bodies. We need to love our bodies, which is true today and always has been. The important thing is that we know ourselves and love ourselves for who we are, and in relationship, that we find someone who's willing to do the same for themselves and then to share that mutually. To love you for who you are, love the body you're in, and vice versa. Back to the Ibn Arabi teaching, he kind of drew it like a clock. He said when the spirit comes in, the spirit goes to one side of the clock, it's more feminine. If it goes to the other side, it's more masculine. Like if it goes to 2 o'clock, feminine. If it goes to 10 o'clock, masculine. If it goes to 4 o'clock, it's a feminine masculine. If it goes to 8 o'clock, it's a masculine feminine. And if it goes to 6 o'clock, it's the half and half. Each one of us has so many aspects of self. You're not here to reflect one aspect of the jewel of light and the jewel of all of the various aspects of our source that manifest on this plane. You have many, 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 not just one. And all of the aspects of self, when I visualize it, I see that coming into the clock and spraying. All the different aspects of yourself land along different places on that spectrum. And society has tried to say women need to look like this and act like this and be like this and do these things and be good at these things, not those things. And men need to look like this, act like this, do like this, be good at these things, not those things, right? And that just doesn't fit anyone. And to try to conform to it and to live in a world that is governed according to those rules and even laws established to try to hold us into those places, it's soul crushing for male and female. So I want to invite you, again, return to that center. Take a breath, draw all of your energy into your vertical core. Exhale, land into that vertical core, land into your hips, lean into your heart center, into that space behind your heart. Like get toward the back of your body, or like leaning into your spine and really connecting with that heart center, melting into it. And just think back to when you were a child and think back to the things that you loved. You might think to movies that you loved, right? I remember when Bambi first came out. I was a child when Bambi first came out. And as a child, I saw that movie and it's one that has stuck with me my whole life. that explains partly why, as soon as I was old enough to make my own choices and decisions, I became vegan, and I care deeply for the animals, and I care to advocate for the humane treatment and well-being of the animals. And I mentioned earlier that I was the child who sat on the floor with the encyclopedias when we had those back then, and reading about the planets and the stars, and like recognizing at that time that that had a tie to mathematics, because I felt mathematics in my body. I felt like geometric structures that surrounded the universe and things like that. And I felt like this whole mathematical discipline was a way of describing the structure of the universe. So, like, what were the things that you, as a child, and I can say if I had been, if things had been more accepting of women doing them, I would probably be in a different place right now, but I'd probably still end up here. Because I see that no matter what we do or how we express it, it's not separate from the innate spirituality of who you are. It doesn't separate you from your source. And that's an interesting thing. Even as I began to study with a spiritual teacher, and I lived in spiritual community, my teacher did not say this, but other teachers that were his students said that, because of my intellect, that was going to keep me from reaching God realization, from reaching unity. And I see it as exactly the opposite. Oh, and God gives you a gift. You lean into it. You lean into it. It's there for a reason. And each and every one of us has our own doorway to really know ourselves and to understand ourselves as these expressions of source on earth. So feel into that. What is that for you? Whether you recognize it through movies, through studies that you were interested in, through things, sports that you were attracted to, through, like the hopes and dreams that you had as a child. And just hold those in front of your heart. And just notice what your heart does, how your heart responds as you hold those in front of your heart. Remember the subtle energy center takes in information, and just like your eyes and ears and nose and mouth, and that transfers that information into your core light body. And your heart holds incredible wisdom. So just notice what happens when you hold those in front of your heart. And if any voices, and I'm just going to invite the voices, any of those voices that said you can't because of gender expectation, because women are to this, man can't be that, women can't be this, man are to that, any of those things that you may have heard that told you can't. Invite those out of your heart and out of your psyche, out of your conscious body, your subtle energy body, and just place those into that light at the very center of our circle. And we'll call on our unseen support team, calling on source, calling on angels, healers, helpers, guides, prophets, saints, to just help to release those, any of the can'ts, any of the shouldn'ts, any of the it's not fitting for a female, it's not fitting for a male. And just let those pull out, releasing from your body. And you can use your breath. If you notice tension coming up in your body, breathe into that space and let it have expansion. And as you exhale, just kind of scoop up any of the what may be causing the tension, any of those belief patterns that are like constricting you and holding those parts of you back. Just blow those out and let them go. Hold them back and let them go. And if that voice is coming in that says, well, I'm too old now, there's no way I could go back and, fulfill that, that's okay. Let it still have life force in you. It will help our future generations because it frees up that stagnant, stuck life force. And they'll feel it. They'll feel it. Your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, nephews, all of that will feel it. So let it go from your body. Let it go from your diaphragm. Let it go from your belly space. Let it go from your throat and your jaw, from your mind, from your head, from your base. Just let all of that, if you notice the tension in your body, breathe into it and scoop up that resistance and let it go. Right? Why do we hold things when we're told that, well, you can't because of this, or you're supposed to do this instead, right? We have an innate survival mechanism, an innate protection system that says, well, I better conform to this because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to be outcast from my tribe of people that are, the people that have kept me safe and guarded me and guided me all of my life, because that would not be safe, right? Just know that you're not in that place anymore. And you can still make choices, right? You can still make choices, but it doesn't have to be from a false sense of have to or should. It can be from, you can still let this go and still make the choices that you make. So it doesn't have to put you in danger to let it go, but it can give you clarity around what is true for you. As you just breathe into it, let it go. Breathe in that pure divine light, the light of illumination, cleansing, purifying, and illuminating. The light of unconditional love, the force of unconditional love that comes in and creates that love, that acceptance, that compassion that really is the holding and protecting and the nurturing. And let yourself feel completely supported to let go of any of those subtle energies that have held you back. And it's so funny, I think, I watch all these old shows with my dad, Perry Mason, Columbo, all of those. And it's interesting. There was a case in Columbo that I'll never forget, right? This is in case you weren't around then, from the 60s and 70s when these shows were popular. I guess even into the 80s, where, there was a case where it was solved because it had to be who killed who, who was the murderer, had to be between a woman and a man. And they were the only ones that could have done it. And it had to be the man because the motive was turned out that because he aspired to be an attorney, and the woman would never aspire to be an attorney because she was a secretary. And that was what solved the case. It was really, that's how deeply things imprint into us. So whether it's your education, your career, the things you like to do, intellect, what you're supposed to be able to do intellectually or not, or the relationships, even spiritual leadership, right? We've been ingrained to think in many, many religions that the men are the spiritual leaders. They're the preachers. And yet the women are more. Let me talk about archetypes, okay? The female archetype. The female archetype contains the womb in the body. The female archetype is the receptive, right? We look at this often in terms of relationship. And we think, oh, well, the woman receives from the man, but the woman's the one always giving, right? And so when we look at archetypes, the woman is that which receives, but where does she receive from? The woman receives from spirit into the body. This is the womb. The womb receives that spirit into the body and holds and gestates that body that can then be given life. The feminine archetype is that which receives and connects The masculine archetype is that which moves out and is active and penetrates. So you have the archetypes, and certain aspects of you are more in a place of like receiving. Others are more in a place of active. So as you kind of hold these places in front of you and you allow like whatever that is like most at the forefront for you, where you feel like you've been conditioned away from something that was your innate ability. Again, hold that in your heart. And now let's breathe the light into that piece, right? As it's being washed and all of those things are being washed from your psyche. Hold that, what is your innate gift that you've been conditioned away from. Hold that in your heart and let this pure light of illumination and truth stream into that place inside of you. Let it be illuminated. Let it be clarified. And let go of whether it's feminine or masculine, and let it land wherever it may land along that spectrum. Let it land where it may land. We all carry feminine and masculine energies. Even in the spiritual, we've been taught that the feminine is the left side and the masculine is the right side. And I feel like even that is changing, as that feminine is more of that center place that like comes to that place of connectivity to commune with source. And the masculine is that which is on the outer that surrounds. And as you move as a being into the world and through the world, the masculine is that which moves out and protects that feminine temple at the center, that place of connection, so that as you move, what moves from your core, you live from your core, that place of connection, that place of light, that place of that's connected with source and connected with who you are. And this outer is that which moves in honor, moves through the world to honor the core light that you carry and to express the core light that you carry and to like be in action that carries out the innate wisdom, the innate passion and purpose of that core light. So you move as one being with the feminine aspects of yourself and the masculine aspects of yourself together. There is a Native American proverb that says the highest calling of the woman is to lead a man to his soul so as to unite him with source. The highest calling of the man is to protect the woman so she is free to walk the earth unharmed. Think of this in terms of the masculine and feminine archetypes. Think of it in terms of what you do on a day-to-day. When you're out and you're in the world and you're acting and you're relating and you're doing all of these things, you're in action. That is like a masculine archetype. At the end of the day, when you come home, right, we all need to daily, if not multiple times a day, return to that inner place and commune with source to fill ourselves, to let us be filled with this light and love and compassion, to let our hearts be cleansed and washed from all of the places where we've put up those blocks and barriers throughout the day, so that we can come home to our truth and not let all of those things just compound and compound and compound like the layers of the onion, right? Come home to the center and commune. This is like going out as, you're in your actions. That's the masculine aspect of self. And then when you've completed your actions, right, and recognizing that your actions are an expression of your inner, right? Let your actions be an expression of your inner core light. And when you're finished with the actions, return and check in with that core light and commune with source. Let all the blocks and barriers be cleansed. Let them be purified. Let your light be illuminated. Let your core truth continue to guide you. So again, there's another place in you that has been conditioned away from the truth of who you are because of you're a woman or you're a man, and a woman can and a woman can't, and a man can and a man can't. Just let yourself hold that right in front of you. Let it be washed and cleansed. Let it be cleansed from your psyche. Let it be cleansed from your subtle energy body. And you're letting the falsehoods be cleansed. And then feel that spark, if you can, in your heart. Right? When we separate from a part of who we are, it leaves a yearning in the heart. A yearning is like a missing, a grieving. If you feel that in your heart, let yourself melt into it, because what's on the inside of that is the reality of what exists, your innate aspect of the jewel that is here to be expressed and here to be lived. And let yourself breathe into that space, land into that, and let this pure divine light, again, as it streams through the top of your head and runs through the core of your body, let it illuminate that aspect of the jewel and let it shine from within you. Let it shine from within you. Let yourself live closer to the soul, releasing what our culture and society has ever told you that you can do because of the body you're in, and lean into your core, lean into your vertical core, align with your core light body. And as you do, just feel the vibration. Everything is frequency, right? There's a vibration of your core light body. As you bring your conscious body, again, take that inhale and draw all your consciousness into that core of your light body. Rest into that place and let yourself just rest into that vibration, the frequency of your core light. And let it shift your frequencies to align with who you are at your core. And be. You be it be you. Kun fayakun, be, and it is. Kun fayakun, be, and it is. Kun fayakun, be, and it is. I want to say a word about what this means when you are in relationship. I mentioned be who you are, get to know yourself, love the body you're in, and encourage your partner to do the same. Get to know himself or herself or themselves, and get to know themselves for who they are, love themselves, and love the body they are in. And when you come together, know that there are many aspects of self. There's never the man is supposed to be this and the woman is supposed to be that. There's an agreement between the two of you that certain aspects of yourselves flow, right? And we are here to be in flow and to learn how to flow with each other. Over time, as I mentioned last week, I talked about the story of Adam and Eve and how there's an interpretation of that story that extracted certain things out of that story and interpreted them to mean that a woman is weak and easily influenced by the darkness and seductive and cannot be trusted and must be lorded over, and all of these things that have been, I mean, I tell you that the whole Adam and Eve story is what has fueled so many things in our history, including the witch trials, including the hysteria the era of hysteria, where women were called too emotional, and if they made the patriarchy uncomfortable, then they just removed the wombs. That was the hysteria era. And, and all of these things that have happened, women as property, women as, and then even in the language today, we have held over language from some of those things that we don't even recognize, right? A man is sexually forward or, has high risk sexual behavior. He can be called, oh, boys will be boys. Boys are boys. A woman does the same thing. She's called promiscuous. It's like we have these things. Any of those things, just let them wash. Let them wash. Let them wash. We're all here to know ourselves and to know ourselves as sacred beings and to hold ourselves as sacred beings and to see each other in that same sacred light. It's not one is okay and the other's not. We're all here to walk and to understand our truth of who we are as sacred beings and to hold ourselves as such, to know ourselves as such and to hold ourselves as such. You are a sacred being. You are a sacred being. Right? And you're here to be a being who is in touch with your emotions, male or female, right? It's okay to feel emotional, express emotional, except for if you get too out of control and make people uncomfortable, then, that's where we got the hysteria movement. The men aren't allowed to show emotions at all. Suck it up. My father's generation certainly didn't. He's World War II vet, right? Just didn't talk about things. You never showed emotions, except for anger. That was the only one that was safe, because that's being a man. That's being forceful. That's being dominant, right? Somehow that was accepted. Let that go too. Everyone has emotions, and emotions are key to knowing who we are as human beings. So let all of that go. I feel like I keep looping back, but more and more keeps coming up. Let all of that go. Let all of it go. And again, take a deep breath. Draw your consciousness into your core light. Drop down, land into your hips, and lean into your spine. Lean into that space behind your heart and receive, receive, receive. And just let your whole conscious body melt into that inner wisdom of the heart, that aspect of the jewel of source that lives through you, breathes through you, expresses through you, and is here to be known through your jewel, through the facet of your jewel. And yours is unique. Yours is unique. So let yourself land wherever that may be, whether it's archetypically masculine or archetypically feminine, and disregard culture. Just forget about what culture says you're supposed to be. Just let yourself land. Feel the spark within you as you align with that, and be. Be, and it is, be, and it is, be, and it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open for discussion, for Q&A. And I know it's Easter, and many of you are have other things that you need to get to, and other holidays being celebrated today. So we'll be opening for Q&A. If you're listening to the recording, I invite you to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and replays. It says join the CCL community. Sign up to receive the reminders and replays. When you do, you receive 2 free gifts. One is a one-sheet downloadable, the 10 spiritual principles of our human existence, who we are, what we are, why we're here, what this earth journey is about. We need that reminder on a daily basis. The other one is a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation to help you to connect with the pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is the truth of who you are at your core. All right, with that, I thank you very much for being here. I love you very much. If you're listening to the recording, join us next Sunday.